Hello, my name is Leonie and today we're going to talk about how to grow potatoes. The first thing that we need to know about potatoes is the nutritional content of them is fabulous. It's full of iron, it's full of fibre, vitamin C and some of the B vitamins, and the most important thing is they're very easy to grow. The main thing to know about potatoes is how to plant them and where to plant them. It's important to give them a sunny position and also that it's away from a frost pocket. They like well-drained soil and they will grow in practically any soil, but they do prefer a little acidity. The first thing to bear in mind when you are going to grow your potatoes is manure them. And the important thing to do is to manure the site before you are ready to plant. So when you're actually going to chit your potatoes, which is sprouting them, you can also at the same time manure your site. So that's the organic potato and vegetable feed. It's a good mix and it's full of the right vitamins and minerals which are needed for growing a good crop of potatoes. When you have your site manured, you will also be wanting to sprout your potatoes, and to do that you just put them in a tray and you leave them in a bright site and you leave them there for about 2 weeks. It has to be cool and bright, that's important. So you just leave them out like that. There's no cover, and just make sure that when you are doing it that they all get the light. On the potatoes there's the little eyes, and that's where the sprouts will be coming out. And when they do sprout, the sprouted side will be on the top. So you can do your potatoes, as I said, in pots, or you can do them in the soil. Today I'm going to do it in a container. This container is about maybe 40 centimetres or so. In the bottom of it I have actually placed some of the vegetable compost, and it's got added vitamins and minerals in it just to help the growing process for the potatoes. So just add some more in. Just get a nice even layer on it. And when you're planting your potatoes, I'm going to take the Sharps Express. There's a few different types. There's several different types. There's first earlies, second earlies, which are generally quicker to grow and they crop earlier in the season, and then main crop, which takes longer to grow, and you would have it autumn time. So the Sharps Express, it's a lovely flowery potato, and so when we're planting these out in this container, it will take about six per. So I'm just going to plant 3 and 3. And a little tip, you could, if you were using a small confined area like a balcony, you could also do a second layer and you would have an extra crop. So I'll just add some more soil to that. Just give it a good covering. The thing with potatoes as well is to remember that when they start to grow, you actually do need to keep moulding up the site or mounding up. And with the mounding up, it's important that you watch very carefully that you don't damage the stalk of the potato, because they are quite delicate. And it's also important as well, if you're doing it in growing your potatoes in a vegetable plot, you have to weed. Any chance of weeds are taking nutrients away from the potatoes or from your crop. So it's important just to keep your plot nice and clean and tidy. So I'm just going to add some more. On the second row I'll just maybe add 5, and that way they'll actually be in different areas of the container than the previous row. And it's very important to also make sure that when you have your crop planted, that they get enough water. Because potatoes are full of starch, they soak up a lot of water, and to get a nice decent sized potato you want to have give it plenty of water. The other thing to bear in mind is you've already fed them the soil a couple of weeks beforehand, so you're getting a good base for your plants when they start to grow. But also after about 3 weeks or so, to give it another feed with the potato feed, and just give it a light little scattering over it, just like that. Now that'll be fine, and just allow that to feed in, and if there's any chance of frost, make sure, even in your containers, cover them over with a fleece just to keep them warm. With those potatoes, as I said, I picked Sharps Express. From the selection that we have in Horkans, we have a huge variety. You'll get all sorts on the website, which is gardencentre.ie. From the main crop, British Queens, actually, in the second earlies, they would be the most popular of the early varieties. They're a nice flowery potato, and they'll keep you going until your main crop comes in. With the main crop then, the ones I chose today were Satanta. The reason why I chose them, they are blight resistant, and of course with Irish weather we have to watch for blight, and so those ones are blight resistant. If you're deciding to choose a variety that isn't blight resistant, it's important to keep an eye out on your blight forecasts, and also if there is a blight warning, to spray accordingly. The product I have here is Proxanil. Proxanil is a great little product. You can use it as a blight preventer, but also if the blight has just started, it will actually cure it. So Proxanil is a great product. If your leaves are looking a little yellow, they mightn't still have enough of manure or enough feed in the soil because of the rate they're growing. The best thing to do then maybe is just to use a liquid feed. Just give it in a watering can, light little water over it with a little bit of feed in it, and that'll just give it an extra little pep. The one that I have chosen here is one liquid feed. It's a great little product. When you're planting outside in your vegetable patch, the crops can be planted at separate spacings. You plant them about 5 inches deep in the soil, and when you're in your row, you plant all your earlies, you would plant at about 12 inches apart, and your rows then would be 24 inches apart. For your main crop, because the potato crop is much better and much bigger potato, you would plant them the 5 inches deep, 15 inches apart, and 30 inches row apart. Any other go to the website gardencentre.ie for any information on our full range of potatoes. Thank you very much.